everybody! Thank you for tuning in to ChannelBK. My name is Brian. Welcome to the end of the year 2015. This is my favorite albums of the year. So many great albums to come out this year. Man, oh man, there are so many good albums. I mean, I just can't even comprehend how many albums there are at the end of the year. We're going into 2016, but we have to give thanks to the albums that we got for the rest of the year. So I'm really excited for that, and
it's not the end of the year. July 1st. It's mid-year.
God? Who said? Rewind reviews?
You're dumb.
You're dumb.
I'm not dumb. I love all the great music. I'm smarter.
Oh no, man, no! I had something like a 2 point something or another in high school. You don't know?
But you didn't like the new Passion Pit album as much as me, and that makes you stupid.
No.
That's rude.
No, you're rude. Hey guys, my name's Brian, ChannelBK, whatever. I guess it's the mid-year list. It's not the end of the year. If somebody would have told me, I think this would have gone a lot better. So, great. No, but guys, really thank you guys so much for watching. It is exciting, mid-year. I'm going to be talking about my favorable and most favorable albums, or very favorable rather. I don't have a list. I'm just going to talk about the order in which I reviewed them, which is very specific because there's certain albums I did that were a little late, and there's other albums I've been planning on doing or hopefully going to do after this video probably comes out, so those aren't included. So if you ask me, you know, where's this album or this album, or have you thought about doing this album, don't worry. It's because I didn't cover it yet. So there you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the computer. So if I keep glancing down, don't worry about it, because I think this is going to be much easier for an editing's sake, because I guess this is a little bit more raw review style. So here we go. So the first album, which I think kind of started off a crazy January, is the new Fall Out Boy album, American Beauty, American Psycho. Great pop rock. I was very excited when I heard this album. Much better than Save Rock and Roll, which I felt was just very dull in a lot of aspects. But I think in terms of the catchiness and the writing on this album really outshined their last album, and I think they came back with this album in full force. But we also got some great hip-hop out on this day. We got Joey Badass with Badass, some great old-school boom bap with some new edge to it from Joey, and it was such a great commercial debut for him. We also had Lupe Fiasco's, oh my god, Tetsuo and Youth, which I really enjoyed as much as a lot of other people did. Super lengthy, so much going on, great production, and Lupe really brought it back on this album. Then, I Love You, Honeybear by Father John Misty. Great folk rock, very kind of colorful in terms of the instrumentation, the lyrics, and the stories that he told on this album. And also, another very colorful album is the Ghostface, Killah, and BADBADNOTGOOD duo collab project, Sour Soul. This was another one of my favorite albums so far this year, getting some great instrumentation for Ghostface. I thought the features were great, and I thought it kind of ended up being a nice short project in terms of it being a collab as well, with some great instrumentation, but as well as some great rhymes from Ghostface. Then we got Björk's Vulnicura. Obviously, this got leaked and released back in January, and then they ended up coming out on physical in March. Some great pop, some grand pop music, and Björk has a gorgeous voice, and the production on this album, which was mainly done by Arca, was just a grand album, and I was really happy to get the results I got on this album. Then we got the return of Modest Mouse with Strangers to Ourselves, some upbeat indie rock, some nice interesting instrumentation and styles that they covered throughout the whole entire album, rather than just kind of normal indie rock. Then we got two amazing hip-hop albums in March as well. We got Kendrick Lamar's King Kendrick, To Pimp a Butterfly, and I don't want to mince words with that. You all know it was great. But we also got The Powers That Be by Death Grip. a great double album. Obviously, we got the first part last year. The second part came out this year, Jenny Death. Then we get Carrie and Lowell by Sufjan Stevens. Beautiful, gorgeous folk rock, great indie rock, very personal, great stories. I loved the instrumentation, and I loved his voice and his vulnerability over all of these tracks. It was just a very beautiful and haunting record. Then we get to We Cool by Jeff Rosenstock. Awesome pop rock, awesome pop punk, great punk, and oh my god, one of the most fun albums I've listened to this year. So upbeat, so loud and in your face, and the characteristics of the lyrics and the singing, it all comes together for a great album. Then we get Young Fathers with White Men Are Black Men Too. Kind of going off a lot of what To Pimp a Butterfly is. This has some phenomenal production and just haunting lyrics, haunting subject matter, and it sort of came down from the hip-hop vibes they've been giving off for a while, and they turned this album into a more lo-fi pop record, and it was just great. Everything about it. Then Sound and Color by Alabama Shakes. Some great southern rock. Again, I was really excited when I heard this album because I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of them, but I was really hopeful that this album was great, and it's stuck in my head ever since. So many great tracks on here. We then get No Cities to Love, which obviously was a late review from January 20th by Sleater Kinney. Great pop rock. I was so excited to listen to this album. Obviously, Carrie Brownstein I've known from stuff like Portlandia, and when I heard this was a great album, I was definitely in for this album, and it was just very upbeat, and it was a very nice condensed listen. Then the epic Kamasi Washington. 3 hours of insane jazz music. All I got to say for that album, and that's all you got to say for that album. Then we get some interesting psychedelic rock from Toro y Moi from What For. I thought this was a good record as well. And then At Long Last ASAP by A$AP Rocky. I know I enjoyed it a little bit more than some people, and I didn't enjoy it as much as others. I think there was some fat on this album that definitely could have been cut off, but I think overall this still was an enjoyable listen from the experimentation and from A$AP Rocky moving up in the ranks. We also then had the surprise Surf album by Donnie Trumpet and The Social Experiment. I was very pleased by this listen. Some great tracks on there, and Chance the Rapper really shined, as well as the features. Some great features on this album, and if you haven't checked that out already, you can definitely download it for free on iTunes, and I think it just went out internationally for free as well, so definitely check that out. But then we also got the new Sun Kill Moon record, Universal Themes. Very nervous for this album. I loved Benji, but this ended up being a pretty good, at least decent follow-up to his last album. He sort of continues with that journal diary sort of singing, which is not really singing, he's just sort of saying these very particular incidents and things in his head, and I thought the music was really great on this as well, even though I thought the electric parts of it were kind of a little off-putting for my taste. Then we get Jamie XX with In Color. This was a great album from start to finish, I thought, besides the Young Thug, but we'll get past that in a second. But I think, in a way, this was a very haunting kind of electronic record, and I thought the contributions from the XX was really great, especially a lot of great vocals on this album, and I thought that this was a very atmospheric listen that I really enjoyed. Painted Shut, which is a great indie rock album from Hop Along. Great vocals, great instrumentation. It had my attention throughout the whole entire album. And then How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful by Florence and the Machine. Some kind of upbeat indie rock. And even though I thought on that album there could have been a lot more intimate moments or certain production elements were just kind of not doing it for me, I still think overall, in terms of the band itself, they do have a lot of character, especially with Florence, who has an incredible voice. The Beyond / Where the Giants Roam was a very short mini album by Thundercat, but I enjoyed it. I thought there was rarely anything wrong with it besides that it just felt too short. I think certain tracks were off-putting in terms of how short they were, and they could have went longer, but I think overall this album definitely from front to back had me. It's only like a 16-minute listen, so I definitely say you should check that out. And finally, Miguel Wildheart. I was very nervous for this album, and I didn't know how he was going to follow it up from his last album, but I think he did a really good job conceptually and lyrically, and I've gone back to that album a few times now with some of the main songs on it, and I think, again, it was such an expansive listen that surprisingly took me a while to really dig, because at first I just couldn't grasp it as much as Kaleidoscope Dream, but it really grew on me a lot. So if you guys have any albums from the first half of the year that you think are your favorite or your lists so far, leave all that in the comments below. If there's still anything that maybe I should try and listen to or cover from the first half of the year, leave those in the comments below as well. I'm still trying to get around to a couple of them. So thank you so much if you do. If you liked, please like and please subscribe if you want more lists, I guess, like this, as well as music reviews, movie reviews, television reviews, original stuff, hopefully coming soon. Raw discussions every now and again. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for tuning in to Channel BK. Peace out, guys.